Hello, and thanks for listening to the Adulting is Easy podcast, where we make adulting easier by making money easier. This is your host, Lauren, and I'm joined today by my sister, Jenny. Jenny, why don't you introduce yourself and remind everybody who you are?
Hey, my name is Jenny. I'm a 22-year-old super senior at the University of Florida. I'm majoring in mechanical engineering. So yeah, I'm just checking in to guest star in this episode. So I'm back.
Thank you for being here. And guys, our goal is usually to make adulting easier for listeners by discussing a personal finance topic, since money is a huge part of adulting, of course. But today it's going to be a little different. Jenny's going to interview me a little bit, and we're going to Adulting is Easy is going to be taking at least a break. It may be the end. We'll have to see where things go from here. And so Jenny and I are going to be talking about that today.
All right, let's just start off right at the beginning. So why did you start the Adulting is Easy podcast?
Well, as you know, Jenny, and everybody probably can figure out at this point, I have always been sort of fascinated by money. I've always been curious about money, and mom and dad always answered my questions about money. It's just like, hey, dad, how much do you make? And he would be like, I make $75,000 or whatever it was at the time when we were kids, and just things like that. They would always answer my questions. And so I've always been fascinated by money. As I started to master my own investing more, once I started contributing to retirement accounts and own my house and started to really get into thinking about real estate investing and things like that, I wanted to start to talk to others about it. And especially you, when this started, the first like 24 episodes are me just teaching you about money when you were 16 years old and you're 22 now, which is crazy. And so that's kind of like the main reasons. I chose a podcast because people have always told me throughout my life that they like my voice, that it's deep. And I do think it is a little bit different than a lot of female voices out there. And so just kind of my reason for, making it an actual podcast was I decided to use my voice rather than, write.
hmm Yeah, I've been told that too about like our voices. They're both pretty
Mhm.
similar, and it's like a good medium, I think, for radio or whatever. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and
Yeah,
well,
you
and
and I,
also yeah,
well, we have similar voices and our voices like moms. So,
yeah, and also and you majored in finance and you dabbled in what was your original one? Oh, accounting. So yeah,
oh,
you've
yeah.
always just known kind of where you wanted to be. So that's pretty
Yeah,
cool. I envy
absolutely.
that. All right. So, well, you just said I was 16, but how long have you been doing this?
Since October of 2019 is when the podcast started. So almost 6 years.
Right. That's crazy. That was before COVID. That was forever ago.
I know.
And then in that span of about 6 years, how many episodes do you have?
Over 200 regular episodes. And then for like most of 2022, I would go live every Wednesday on Twitter
hmm
with three friends of mine, and those were called Wealth Wednesdays. And so there were also about 50 of those that lived on the regular feed for a while, and then also did, House Money Media for a year, which had over 50 episodes, and have done, I don't know, dozens of guest episodes too. So it's been a lot over the years.
Right. That's crazy. I remember doing the recaps, and it's like, oh, you're like meeting like dozens and dozens of people every year. Like, that's so cool.
It
Who
is
have like
cool.
all similar interests to you or different interests. And then you get to like share what you think about them and stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have a favorite? Do you have a least favorite? It's a little spicier.
That's a pretty good one. My favorite episode is this is a long time ago, like 62 or 68, something like that. And it's when Curtis and my friend Curtis came on. We both reread the book Think and Grow Rich and just like destroyed it. And that was really fun for me. I love reading. I love books. And then that episode, I really thought it might catch on more than it did. It's definitely not everybody's favorite, but it's mine. And just this idea of there's this book that everybody is like, you have to read this book. And I'm like, there's a whole chapter called Sex Transmutation, guys. That's freaking weird. It's a weird book.
Yeah, it sounds fun. I think you do like to like critique things like that. And I do too, honestly. Like
I do. I
it's
mean,
kind of
you
fun to
love
do that.
books.
Yeah,
I don't,
I love to pick apart things like that. Like you've heard me rant about like the books I'm reading. I'm like it's just not good, you know.
I
So I
know.
get
Well, you get caught up in those book talk books.
I know, and I keep making the same mistake. What's it called? What's the definition of insanity?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
Well, except my expectations are low now, so it's like not as big of it. Like I'm not surprised now. It's
I know
okay.
it's fun. Oh, you asked about least favorite.
Hmm.
Early on, I would like write and then talk about like my own stuff rather than just doing interviews. And I wrote something about money personalities. And while I stand by it, there are six of them. Like if I could go back, like I would create more money personalities to talk about. So it's not like it's a bad episode. I just feel like it's dated and I've learned and grown and changed since then. It's just not reflected.
What's the idea behind that? The money personalities.
Well, so especially in like the corporate world, there's these like personality tests that you can take, like Myers-Briggs is one of them, for example, and it can like tell
Hmm.
you about yourself. And my goal with money personalities was to kind of try to categorize people, which is always a hard thing to do because humans are very complex and not black and white, very, very gray, of course, but categorize people and then give them some insights into their own money personalities was the idea. So
Okay.
like the kind of people that are like gamblers more than investors, or the people that kind of live their life off of debt, or the people that save that don't invest. And I was thinking about everybody in my life, and I was able to categorize basically everybody in my life that I knew at the time into those six, and so that's kind of how that
That's cool.
coalesced. Yeah,
So you would be like gauging like risk assessment and like how impulsive people are and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Was the
yeah,
Briggs one the one where it's like four letter classifications?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Right.
And well, it's MBTI. I think it's
Right.
letters. It's been a long time. There's also one that's
I know.
colors.
I haven't looked at it. I've never done it, but I've heard people like call themselves that, but I
Yeah,
don't
there's
know
also
what I
colors. Like people would be like, "Oh my God, you're blue energy or whatever." I'm like, oh, "Okay, yeah."
You're
So,
such an Aquarius.
I'm such a Virgo. What are you actually? I don't actually know
I
the
am
zodiac signs.
Aquarius.
You are Aquarius, okay?
I think Dad and I are both Aquarius
Oh
because it's
yeah,
like
you would
end
be.
of January through the end of February or something like that. So I think we're
See,
both
me
in
and
there.
Dad have different ones, which makes no sense because we're so
What are
similar.
you?
Virgo. Me and Eric are both
Oh, you
Virgos.
are Virgo. Oh, and
Yeah,
Eric, yeah, Eric will be too. Okay.
yeah,
All right, let's see. All right, for the next 2 hours, list for me how many topics you've covered.
All right, let's go. Uh, maybe I'll make you read them like I always make you read the
I'm
countries at the end
sat.
of the year.
I'm sat for this.
Dozens of topics. Basically with personal finance, at least the way we did it at Adulting is Easy is like there's real estate topics and there's the others for the most part. Did a lot of real estate topics. And, that means like flipping, wholesaling, long-term rentals, short-term rentals, buying land, house hacking, mobile homes, inheriting property, and the list just, on and on for what we covered in real estate. And then just all the other topics, obviously, stocks, bonds, dividends, retirement accounts, index funds, debt, credit cards, compounding, fire, financial dependence, retire early, mindset,
Mhm.
net worth, behavioral finance, student loans, owning businesses. Obviously, covered some personal finance books and had some authors on. And so it's been a ton of different topics.
Wow, that was a pretty good list, though.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. All right, so can I guess what your favorite topic is?
sure.
STRs.
Ugh, it probably should.
Top five.
It probably should be because I like obviously that's like my main thing, and it's also the thing I'm most known for. My friend Alan, he says when people like what people say about you when you're not in the room is what your brand is. And people would say I'm like the short-term rental girl, right? So it
Yeah.
probably should be that, but I don't think I do have a favorite topic. I'm fascinated by behavioral finance and like psychology and why we do things because
Mhm.
saving like growing your wealth is make more, spend less, invest the difference. That's like so simple for people to understand, but we don't
Mhm.
all do it. So why is that? Is just a really fascinating thing to me. So I love
Yeah.
kind of like mindset, behavioral finance, stuff like that. I mean, the best thing in personal finance, the coolest topic to me is compound interest. The difference between investing $20 a month when you're
Mhm.
16 years old and investing $5,000 a month when you're 60. I mean, like which one of those
Right.
is better, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't love bonds. I don't know. I just don't. They're boring and I don't think they're interesting and I probably don't understand them as well as I should. But, I like talking about retirement accounts. I love talking about the stock market, obviously real estate too. So, I mean, just all personal finance. Like I got into this because I freaking really like it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, when you say like the compound interest thing, it makes me think of Warren Buffett and how like his parents set him up an account when he was like 12 or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, that's not like the whole reason for who he is today, but like, I mean, it definitely plays a role, right? It's definitely a
No,
fact.
yeah, he
So,
started so early. I mean, he's 90 now, right? And he started like he had like paper route when he was like 11 or 12 years old. So just that's 80 years of compounding, right? Not to
right,
mention the fact that he gets like 20% returns every year, which is just it's just astronomical. But yeah, he's a great
right.
example
Yeah.
of that.
And also what you said about how like the baseline's pretty simplistic and yet people still don't do it. It reminded me of the book you made me read like way back when before the podcast. The Richest Man in Babylon, I
Yeah.
think. And
Yep.
it's like 160 pages, so it's not that long, but it's like there's really only one message and it was like save 10%.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
That's it. It was like
And
10%.
don't get in debt. Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah, yeah.
basically
But I
like
mean,
it's a parable. I love parables. It's such a good way to
yeah.
tell a story. You make me sound like such a mean sister. It's like that book you made me read.
Well, you just suggested it, and then I took it to camp over summer, and I just read it then. Well, and also we like couldn't have our phones anyway, so I was basically forced to just read this. I'm just kidding,
You've
but
done good. I mean, I
it
love
was,
that.
but that was a good book.
I
Like I
recommend books
remember
to a
that.
lot of people, and you're one of the only ones that actually reads them. So I appreciate that
I've
hugely.
gotten through a few of them for sure. Why
Yeah.
the stock market goes up, I like that one. What I said about Warren Buffett, that was psychology and money. Like you said, the psychology is really interesting. So
Yeah. Super
yeah, I would
interesting.
like to know more about that. Okay, next one. Do you ever get bored covering a topic again?
Yeah, I definitely like if I were to go back through my Excel sheet that has every topic in there, there's definitely some that repeat themselves. But I would say no because I know, my career was selling training to companies to train adults. So I just know when it comes to like any learning theory, certainly adult learning theory, which is what we're dealing with here, is repetition is a big deal. And also like people don't listen to every episode of every podcast. They come in and out and you get new listeners all the time. And so I recognize that just because I've covered the stock market before or I've covered short-term rentals before, maybe this person hasn't ever heard this topic before or hasn't heard my take on it or this guest's take. So it's always new. I mean, especially even I've had some guests on the podcast multiple times and it's different every time. So I don't really get bored with the topics.
Right, that's cool. All right, so when it comes to making adulting is easy over the past few years, what would you say your favorite part is?
That's a good question. Yeah, I the networking. like you said,
Right.
meeting all these
Right.
different people, having all of these conversations. I mean, when I was in my career, I sold the training to the bottom half of the Fortune 1000, and so I was having it when you're in sales. I mean, the skills that you need for sales, such as like empathetic listening and asking good questions and things like that,
Hmm.
translate really well to interviewing. And so I feel like that's just my favorite part, meeting people. And I know interviews, it's hard. Like it's really overdone in podcasting. Like everybody wants to interview. Even some of my favorite podcasts where it's like two hosts telling a true crime story. Every now and then they interview someone and they're just not usually all that good at it, but everybody interviews whether they're good at it or not. And I like to think that because of my career or maybe who I am as a person that I'm decent at interviewing. And that's my favorite part, networking, meeting people, asking questions.
Okay. And when you say they're not good at interviewing, are you saying like it's too scripted, it's the conversation is stilted, it doesn't feel like organic or
All of those are
okay.
signs of a not great interviewer. I mean, what you don't want to do as an interviewer is have a list of questions, and no matter where the conversation goes, you are asking those questions in that order.
Hmm. Right.
Because, like, sometimes I think people say things like maybe you're talking about short-term rentals and like that's the topic of the conversation, but maybe I start telling you about how like my tech stack and how we're using owner res and remote lock and price labs, and maybe there's some really good follow-up questions around that could be asked, but you don't ask them, for example. It's just something silly like that. So you have to have some prep, but you have to have some flexibility too.
Right.
I
There's a
think
balance.
I think people don't do enough prep. I think people ask questions. They do what I have coined the eye doctor approach, where they ask a question. Hey, Lauren, you kind of just did this a little bit, Jen, but hey, Lauren, what's your favorite part about having short-term rentals in Florida? Is it the guests? Is it the weather? Is it that you can use it yourself? And they like give you options. Whereas I'm like, just ask the question and leave it and be silent and be comfortable doing that, you know?
Okay.
So there's a lot
Dang.
of
All right,
ways.
I'll back off.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean anything by
No, it's
that.
good to know. It's good to know. Yeah, I guess I was just almost like helping it along, but I understand you just want to like free fall it or whatever. But
Well,
no, I get
yeah.
that.
So I guess in that scenario, what I would do, this doesn't really happen very much though, because normally you're talking to somebody about a topic that they're super duper comfortable with, but you can ask an open-ended question, and then if they can't come up with anything, then you can still follow up and do that.
Hmm. Right, I get that. All right, so the next one, would you say the least favorite part? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to lead you on like that. What do you think what do you think is the least favorite part of making the podcast?
Oh, getting stood up for sure. It only has
Oh, yeah.
happened a couple of times, but it's just frustrating. Like when I got stood up last week, like that was the day after we were in Gainesville, and like I wanted to get home, and part of the reason I wanted to be home is so that I could record. But it's like I could have stayed another night in Gainesville. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
like you shape your whole schedule around that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And I
no,
had
that's
prepped.
definitely happened to me. Yeah.
I had prepped. Did my research on the guy, created my outline, sent it to him. All that stuff. So that kind of stuff is frustrating. I can only think off the top of my head of two times it's happened. One was last week. Um, I was gonna do one more episode before we wrapped the podcast, so that really just moved this timeline up, which is fine. But yeah, that's my least favorite. It's just rude, At least reschedule or
Yeah, so it's
cancel.
kind of like coincidental, honestly. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, taking a turn. So, why do you think Adulting is Easy didn't reach the popularity that you were expecting or hoping?
Um, I think there's a lot of different reasons. One is what I already said, where there's a lot of podcasts out there, but a lot of them are doing interviews. I don't think maybe I ever had enough of a niche. I mean, adulting is easy. It's meant for young adults, and 80% of the audience is in the United States. So really, you could say that was the audience, but I never niche down. Like I think you should probably have a very strong niche. Maybe I should have only been real estate or only been stocks or only been a certain subset of the population. I'm not sure. And then you can expand from there, is what they say. So I definitely didn't do that. I just wasn't willing to. I like all these different topics. That's what I wanted to talk about. I also am not like super willing to be have an extreme take on something. So, for example, like paying off your mortgage. Some people are like, pay off your mortgage as quickly as possible or die trying. And some people are like, you should never pay off your mortgage because that's the lowest interest loan. It's you can write off the interest on your taxes. You can invest
Mhm.
that somewhere else. I think it just depends so much on your financial situation that I don't have a hot take on that. And I think, like, just as an example, I think a lot of people have these extreme takes and that gets followers, but also like they get a lot of like they do like a lot of like the rage baiting and get people that don't like them. And
Mhm.
so I think maybe I've been like just kind of too bland and in the middle to have people hate me as for one thing, but also maybe not enough, not out there enough to have like these like raving fans that are like sending my podcast to their siblings. Like I send you with the true crime stuff. Like, oh my God, you have to listen to this.
Right.
What
Right. I
else?
see.
I
Well,
mean,
you would think adulting is easy. I mean, that's such a like a just a good name. Like you'd think people would just gravitate towards that. Like I don't know, like if I was on Spotify and I was like, I need to figure out how to do adulting, I would put in probably adulting something or other. Like I don't know how people even find these like niche podcasts, you know? It's
yeah.
like
No, I know. The name I was really excited when I like got that Twitter handle in 2017 and didn't even really know what I was going to do with it at the time, but I knew I wanted it to be about money. But the name's not enough. Maybe I could have done marketing to get found more. I guess it's also possible like maybe people just don't like me enough as a host. Like maybe I'm not interesting enough. Maybe having a deep voice isn't enough to make you a successful podcaster and a passion around personal finance.
right. Well, I remember you introducing me to the term the it factor, you know, and I wonder what that is. Like you need a certain like eccentric, bombastic kind of personality for that,
Yeah.
right? Not a lot of people have it. And you can't really, I don't think, train yourself to have it either,
No,
maybe to an extent, but
you maybe can. I mean, I know I've met a lot of podcasters and they definitely are a different person on the mic than they are in person sometimes. But that's
Mhm.
just not me. Like I'm not I'm just not a fake I'm just not a fake person. I mean,
Right. Like they're a
I'm
character almost on the
like
pod.
yeah, like a character and I'm just not. That's just never who I wanted to be. And if that means I spend 6 years with a podcast and it never like grew to like stunning popularity, that's okay. I'm really proud of what we did. I had a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of cool people, and I was 100% authentic and true to myself the whole time.
Right. Integrity. That's the most important part. So, so another thing. So what do you think would be maybe the peak of adulting is easy? And I mean that like you could take that as viewership and popularity or just a moment where you like hit this threshold and you're like, you know, like a goal like that you achieved.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when things were really clicking is when I went from like less than 10,000 followers to like 25,000 followers, maybe on Twitter. And we were doing the Wealth Wednesdays every night. I mean, every Wednesday night. And then I was getting like a lot of some sponsorships of the podcast and sponsored tweets and things like that. And that was kind of like before they raised rates and the economy got really uncertain, maybe after like 2022. So, like, the most fun I was having was definitely in that period.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think sorry, this is kind of a completely different question, but so you started in 2019. Do you think you like missed the big takeoff of podcasting, or do you think you're like right on it? Or because I know podcasting like hit big, like suddenly it felt like, and then everyone was doing it. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, I thought you got a little before that.
Yeah, I
But
don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think probably a little bit before. I think a lot of people started podcasting like around COVID. I mean, there's very successful personal finance podcasts that launched after this. So it's not like I was too late. There's no way I was too late.
Mhm. Right. I guess that makes sense for COVID. It's like, well, now I'm not working, so I gotta like pivot to something else, come up
Yeah.
with a new hobby or something while I'm
I mean,
quarantined.
that's when the prosecutors started their podcast, you know.
Oh yeah,
They
I
couldn't go they
learned
couldn't
a
go to
lot.
court, you know.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so to sum it all up, why are you quitting the podcast?
Um, well, it never became a huge, like, overwhelming success. I mean, I guess it depends how you measure success, but it's like it doesn't make money, you know? So it's truly just a passion project. And, over time, the passion, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not, but it's just become a little bit of a chore in a life that I have that is very flexible, especially having left my job 2 years ago. It's the thing that was kind of the least flexible. And so I'm just really trying to flex my week even more. And I don't know if like this may be quitting. It may not be. It's not like I would never ever consider starting Adulting is Easy back up or becoming part of a larger brand or something like that. I mean, I'll always leave my options open, but for now,
Hmm.
yeah, this is it, and that's why.
Hmm. So you haven't like made up your mind yet of whether you're going to make like a lateral move, you're gonna do a new podcast or anything. You'll still be online.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep my Twitter. I think I'll probably the blue check pays for itself. Um, but because I have to pay for I have a scheduler. I use Hype Fury to schedule my tweets and stuff. So that my Twitter pays for itself, but I will probably get rid of Hype Fury, get rid of the blue check. But I'll still be around, still be online, still probably have my website, check my emails, stuff like that.
All right. Well, I think that covered everything I wanted to say. So, do you have any other final things to mention? Ooh, I
Um,
also want to say, the biggest thing for me was Elon Musk responding with two letters to your tweet. It
I have
was
that. You
honestly
you
super
you sent
cool.
me that. Do you see it? It's right here.
Oh, I didn't see it. Yeah, yeah, it's blurry, but that's so funny.
Yeah, I asked should 20 somethings be maxing their 401ks? And Elon Musk at 4:38 a.m. said no. Um, yeah. That was cool.
It's great.
Obviously that was cool.
Yeah.
That was like during that fun time, right? Like that was, probably about the time when things got a little bit less fun. Um,
Right.
yeah, I feel good about it. Like knowing we were gonna, I didn't tell you what this topic was gonna be until like 15 minutes before. But like,
Mhm.
I feel good about it. Like, I'm at peace with it. This is something I thought about for about 6 months before I did it. And I'm super proud of Adulting is Easy. I've loved interacting with listeners and followers over the years. And I also am excited to bring more flexibility into my life and see where life takes me from here.
Mhm. Awesome.
All right,
Sounds
guys,
good.
that does it. Thank you so much.